It's a great day in SimWorld, everybody. Good morning and welcome to SimWorld Today. I'm B Ron, and joining me this morning is Rick Blaze. Rick, good morning. How you doing?
G-Run, B-Ran, be the running man. Let's get to it.
Yeah, let's do it, man. We got a lot of football to talk through today. There's a lot of football between Saturday and Sunday, so let's get to it. Ravens and Eagles, in my opinion, this is was a Super Bowl preview kind of game, and did not disappoint. Unfortunately, Justin Tucker's leg did. Ravens end up losing this one 24-19. Justin Tucker did not have a good day kicking the ball at all. Uh, is this a situation where, in your opinion, Rick? I'll get to mine in a minute, but do the Ravens need to consider making a move? Because they mentioned they weren't going to make a move about Tucker, but do they need to at least consider it?
This is interesting. Very rarely on this show, when you talk about football, the name Jason Tucker or any kicker name comes up. But historically, Jason Tucker is a fantastic kicker, except the last few games for the Ravens where he's been horrible. 4 of his last 8, including missing 2 field goals yesterday and an extra point. That's crazy. You remember the score is 24-19. They lost. He missed 2 field goals and an extra point. That's literally the game on Justin Tucker's leg. Coach Harbaugh says he's not going to change him. You know what that tells me, B-Ron? The next guy behind Justin Tucker is sorrier than Justin Tucker, so he can't change him. That just means I have nobody to replace his sorry ass. Because if I did, he'd be off the field right now because he got the case of the hiccups when it comes to his foot. And no, now you can't trust him when it's money time coming down this stretch run for the playoffs. That means on 4th and 4, I got to go for it. Inside of 50, I got 50 a little bit longer, I have to go for it. He makes it very uneasy right now for a team that do not have confidence in him. He does not apparently have confidence in himself. The fact that they're not bitching him sounds cool on TV. It sounds cool in the media, but what he's really saying is, man, I ain't got nobody else to replace this sorry ass. I got to stick with what I got to stick with right now.
So I'm very conflicted because on one hand, Tucker has been one of the most accurate kickers and consistent kickers in SWFO history, recent history or otherwise. And it is incredibly difficult to see him struggle the way that he has, because normally when you see him take the field, you go, okay, we're getting points. And it hasn't happened like I'm used to when watching Ravens games this season. And I'm sure like most people who are fans and or just watch them play in general or know of him in general will think that, okay, he's gonna make this kick, and it just didn't happen, and it hasn't happened. He's got the yips, he's got something going on there to where it's making it real difficult for him to make kicks consistently. And I do think that it is. I personally am a little concerned because I think Tony Romo said it during the broadcast yesterday. It's not going to get any easier. It's only going to get more. It's only going to get difficult as the weather starts to worsen for the playoffs and all that kind of stuff. So I'm a little concerned, but I did see 2 kind of funny stats that interest me. One of them was like before Tucker messed with Pat Mahomes during that game they had, he was 90% or whatever on field goals. Now he's on like 73 or some crazy number like that.
Yeah,
after messing with him.
Well, I do have what I believe to be the what Tucker needs to do to correct his wrongs. I have what I feel is the formula guaranteed to get his confidence up and to get him kicking again. If you really want to know how to get him working, would you like to indulge me in this, big round? So I'm trying to help your team out.
Yes, of course, go for it.
We're in the great area, DC, Baltimore area. If you want to get your kicker back on track, get his confidence back up sky high, you need to hook him up with a fine sister. Get him a sister. They nothing like a man's confidence than pulling up with a bad sister on your arm, good brother, as the kicker. I'm trying to tell you, you get you one of them Shaniquas or you get you one of them Tamikas, you get you something with an Eka at the end. Oh man, Justin Tucker gonna be just fine. I promise you, my guy. Tuck, get you a sister. She gonna make all those ills in your dreams come true.
I love it. Let's hope we can make our dreams come true and hopefully either get us to or win us in our Super Bowl. We'll see. We'll see. But staying on the SWFL side of things here, the Chargers and the Falcons played their game yesterday, and the Chargers ended up winning that one. Another low-scoring game, 17-13, and this one, Kirk Cousins did not have a good game at all. 4 interceptions in that one, in the loss. Is it time for a QB change in Atlanta?
They signed Kirk Cousins to a lot of money, and they signed him to do a lot of things. One thing that they did not sign him to do is throw picks. And in the last 2 or 3 games, he's been a pick throwing machine. And they happened to draft somebody in the top 10 this past draft, Michael Durag Penix. So I think right now, technically, that the Falcons are still in contention for a playoff spot. Technically, still at the moment at 6-6. But once they are mathematically eliminated, which should probably be after their next game that they lose next week, yes, put the number 8 pick in the draft. Let him go to work, do rag and all, and let's see what you got with your top 10 pick. And I think if he plays pretty good down the line, I would be surprised to see Kirk Cousins traded next season.
So
this is how I feel about it.
Yeah, no, you're fine. You're fine. So I do think like you know, once they do get mathematically eliminated, then you put Penix in and see what you can do. I don't think make the change just yet because you're still in the spot where you can potentially win the division. So I think that once they do get to that point, they should make the switch. At least see what you got with him, right? I don't think it can hurt at all. Because you've gotten to a point now in the season where Penix has sat for a good amount of time. I think that despite the performance issues from Cousins lately, especially in this game here, I do think that you can learn a lot from a guy like Kirk Cousins, been around for a while and has had the career he's had, you know. So I do think that is good, and it does help to learn from a guy like him. So give him a shot after you're officially out. But it was a rough game for Kirk Cousins, but the Chargers, on the other hand, they end up, you know, getting the win, and they're now 8-4 on the season. This is Harbaugh's first season back as a SWFL head coach, and he's just continuing to do what he does and get these teams to play well, if not in his first season, then over the course of his short time with the team, because he did it at Michigan, in San Francisco, and now he's doing it here with the Chargers. So I'm amazed at Harbaugh's consistency in that regard.
Yeah, and the Falcons drafted Michael Penix, who's drafted as an older player, right? So on his next birthday, he's going to be like 72. So you have to hurry up and get him in so you can get return on your investments before he expires like bad milk.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, the one thing that the Falcons didn't have issues with was kicking, even though they did lose. But Younghoe Koo did make his pair up.
Yeah. What's his name? His name like Hoku or something like Ho You Koo or something like that.
Younghoe Koo.
Oh, where am I? Am I just adding a ho on my own? That's not a ho in this name.
There is, but it's not pronounced ho.
Oh, wait. The ho is silent.
It's not silent. It's just pronounced differently.
Yeah, all of my years, B-Run, I never knew of a silent ho. That is wild to me. Let's move on. You learn something new every day. You learn only in SimWorld where you learn the ho is silent. I never knew that. That is crazy to me. Don't play yourself.
Yeah,
the ho is silent.
Yep, absolutely. Ho is silent, man. Yeah, let's keep moving. Jaguars and Texans. We can talk about your guys here today this morning.
Yes.
Trevor Lawrence, man, he took a shot in that game that ended up taking him out, I believe, of the game, and but the Texans ended up winning the game 23-20, and they got a nice momentum win heading into their bye week.
Yeah, the Texans needed that one. We let so many games go closely. We still struggle a little bit in the second half of the ball games, but the talk of the town, especially in Florida, was the hit laid on Trevor Lawrence. Look, I agree. It was probably an uncalled for hit. It wasn't. Let me say this. It wasn't a dirty hit from the way he hit him. This angle of it was a dirty hit by how he hit him while he was sliding. The type of tackle wasn't dirty. The timing of the tackle, because Trevor Lawrence was giving himself up, is what could be considered dirty. It's unfortunate Trevor had we don't know what, I guess concussion. I would assume he got caught off and did not return. So we want to play physical. We want to play hard, but we do not want to injure anyone for sure. But that being said, it is good to put boots to asses to the Jaguars, and I'm sure Marsh is somewhere pulling his hair out, and I'm grateful for that this holiday season.
Yeah, the whole I want to talk about the hit first. I've seen multiple angles of it now, and I still think that it's one of the more difficult things to do as an athlete is to stop your momentum, especially in a spot like that too. Is when you're running full speed at each other, and one guy is giving himself up like Lawrence was on that play.
Yeah.
I don't think it was a dirty hit. I do think that it was just poor timing. But I do
Yes.
understand why when you make that play like that, the tensions start to boil over essentially, and people start to get into a fight and protect their teammate. I get that. He did exit with a concussion. Hopefully, he's able to come back for whenever he's able to return and all of that. Because I still like Trevor Lawrence personally. I know he hasn't played as well as he would like him to, but I think he's been decent enough in some respects. But Texans, on the other hand, real good game for them. Joe Mixon had 101 yards and a score as well.
Balling. Joe Mixon is the first player. This is crazy stat. The first player in NFL history to have 6 games in a row with over 100 yards and at least 1 touchdown in every game. The first player in NFL history to do that for 6 games in a row. Joe Mixon is. Thank you, Bengals. Thank you. We appreciate that.
Yeah, it looks like here Rick actually the third player in history to do that with at least 100 yards rushing and a rush touchdown in 6 road games. 6 road games this season.
6 road games.
Yes.
Thank you for that, Ryan. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Third time.
Tiki
First 2
Barber
don't count to me.
and Derrick Henry.
Oh, Tiki. Oh, okay. All right, that makes sense.
Were the first 2 guys to do it. So yeah, that is an impressive stat though. And Joe Mixon, he's one of those running backs who always seems to find a way to make something happen and just go like, man, he's so good.
Yeah. And as a historical fact, B-Run, black guys with the first name Joe typically don't play no games. I'm just Joe Mixon, Joe Jackson. I can go all day with this Joe stuff. The name is Joe. The single Joe. Guys with the name Joe, brothers with the name Joe, don't play games. They're very serious in their craft, and we have a Joe on our team, and I love it.
Love it, man. And look, we got some more things to talk about here this morning because we got one more football topic. It's time switching gears to the college football gridiron here, the SimWorld U football gridiron. Michigan and Ohio State played this week. Number 2 Michigan, I might add. And they lost 13-10 at home to Michigan Wolverines. And this was a game that, it gives Michigan their 4th win in a row over Ohio State. And at the end of it, there were some shenanigans involved in that one, for lack of a better word, we'll say. the planting of the flag, and then the whole scuffle after that. Everybody had to get involved. It was a mess. It was a mess. But and I've seen various takes on this, Rick. But the one that I kind of agree with in the general sense of things is that you can't lose like that and then get upset when the other team does what they do to, cement themselves on your field.
I mean, listen, the Ohio State Buckeyes showed more fight after the game than they did during the game, right? And I'm sure, and all the talk of the town right now in Ohio is them losing that game to Michigan. They're not talking about anything else. They won't be talking about anything else for the rest of the season. It's that type of thing. It's that type of rivalry. Now, I agree. So that's that. Separately from that, though, I agree with Ohio State and their players. You might win the game. That's fine. But ain't no way in hell you coming down and putting your flag on my field. We're not. No. We're not doing that. You win your game. You talk your talk. You say what you need to say. You express how you want to express, and you get on your bus and you go home. But you're not planting your flag on my. No man will ever plant his flag on my field. You feel what I'm putting down? Be run. You attempt
I hear you.
to put your flag on anything I consider my field, brother. We got a problem. And if I'm Ohio State, I'm having that same problem. Let's not go crazy. I might lose this battle, but it's gonna be a war if you attempt to plant your flag anywhere on my field. There was this girl I used to like in high school, and this fool David tried to plant his flag on my field, and it just didn't end well, B. Russ. So as a man to man, don't ever plant your flag on another man's field, or you're gonna have problems.
Rick is calling out people, dropping names and everything this morning.
I forgot about you, David. If I see you, boy, it's gonna be consequences and repercussions.
Consequences and repercussions. Well, look, we had a fun show here this morning. Thank you, Rick, for joining me. I appreciate it as always, my friend. Don't forget, we have no broadcast of games tonight. We do have the SimWorld U game of the week later in the week. That is North Carolina taking on UNLV. That's later in the week, and that's going to be a fun one, Rick. Nat Hawkins, Sean Hyman, Kasim Porter Jr., Montel K. There's a lot of fun matchups in that one, Rick. We'll see about our predictions for that later in the week. But, of course, as always, you guys, hit the like button on the video. Subscribe to the channel so you know when all of our shows, videos, games, streams, all that good stuff go live for you all. And remember, SimWorld's the only place. Run. Oh, yeah.
Before you say that,
yes,
I want to remind the listening audience that we learned this is not only informational broadcast. This one is also a transformational. It's all we give you facts. We do that. Hey, we learned today. The hoe is silent.
That's silent. Important. Have a good day, everybody. SimWorld, the only place you can see the game, be the game. We'll see you tomorrow.
Don't play us.